Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News, with an incredible update. I've actually got some insane stories. I have enough content I'm about to share with you that would give you 5 straight different videos. I've got content creators exposing attorneys. I've got attorneys admitting to fraud. I've got fraud being committed against a podcast studio, and the type of fraud that might land you in 5.75 years in jail. 6 years? No. Don't worry. We're not talking about fraud into your 40s. Just enough for the rest of your 30s. Is this going to happen? Is this the type of fraud that could actually land Laura Owens or be the final nail in the proverbial coffin for her? Now, I don't want to make the longest video in the world because as much as I love to bloviate, I have some things to do. But speaking of putting the blow into bloviate, let's get into Laura Owens. So do me a solid, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps the channel. I don't ask you guys every video to subscribe, but it does tell YouTube that we are doing our job over here, and the bosses that be really control the algorithm. An algorithm that Laura's attorney, we're calling him Jingy, could have taken advantage of, but he's filing, I guess, lawsuits to come after Redditors. Is he in the right? Well, there's some times where you may be in the right, but you're still doing the a-hole thing. I'm not sure if this is the case, but we're going to let you guys decide. So let's jump into it. The first part of the story, which is what's so interesting, is this podcast studio that got involved. As we covered in the last few weeks, they hosted Jingy and Laura Owens in their attempt to start a tell-all. What happened was they never shared their episode. They claim that the audio was terrible. Here's a clip that they shared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's picking up from all angles.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I get it. It's a little echoey. I understand. As it turns out, this was just the video. This wasn't the audio that they received. So Laura claims she never received the audio to go along with this. Her attorney, Jinga, said, Laura asked me to share this short clip from our recent unreleased interview gone wrong. I guess he does whatever she wants him to do. In layman's terms, we call that her bitch. So her bitch said the audio was so bad it was unusable, as if the mics were off. So the sound was echoey and captured the whole room, which would have been painful to listen to over 2+ hours. Now, if I were Laura's bitch, and I mean that with all due respect to my bad bitches out there, but if I were her bitch, I would, knowing the fraud that's been committed, I would probably make sure she's telling the truth, because as her bitch, I wouldn't want my reputation to fall from whatever levels it were at. But it's hard to break a reputation that's already sitting on ground level. Okay, so let's continue to go. He shared that. The podcast studio says, au contraire, mon frère. The podcast studio says, no. Oh, my alert just went off. The baby's crying in the other room. My podcast friends say that's not what happened at all. I interviewed them and they said, we actually have proof we gave her the good audio. Now, you might say, well, maybe she didn't know that. Well, she is a professional podcaster. She does know that there are 2 things you need to have a podcast: audio, video, and of course the other being talent. But we'll get into that. Actually, you don't need talent to have a podcast. Just got to look at my peers at the Vile File show. I'm kidding. Now they're talented. Sure, whatever. You can say with a straight face. I said that show because I didn't want to think of actual podcasts I know that don't have talent. They're out there, folks, but none that I endorse. The train wreck you can't stop watching is what the podcast studio. So the podcast studio is on what we like to call the Dave Neal pill. That is people, and again, Laura's bitch would. How many times can I call him her bitch? Laura told me to post this. Mean people do bad things. Wee. But we're having fun. What else can you do? So the podcast studio is clearly on the side of understanding what's going on, which is litigation used to bully, harass, manipulate, intimidate, whatnot. So they said the train wreck you can't stop watching, and then they've got this beautiful, what looks to be a 65-inch TV showcasing my 4K. I mean, have we ever looked so good? And by the way, I'm going to get a haircut, so this is it, folks. Get a look at what 39-year-old hair look. It's not long enough for Locks for Love, but we'll still say a wish when we cut it. All right. Anyway, let's continue. So we have a lot to get into. So, wrong one. Oh, whoa, hold on. So here's the podcast studio, and here's what they had to share. They say we have a video coming out soon regarding the defamation of our studio via recent statements posted on Twitter. Stay tuned, dropping next week. Oh, I will be there. And again, they share this image of a very great studio. They have 3-point lighting, right? They got the lighting you need for the face. They got the lighting for the backlight. They got the mood lighting, a nice table. I don't know if this is a podcast studio or a porn setup. I'll take it. Maybe it's both. I mean, it's like for the right rate, stay out of the splash zone. Either way, multi-camera setup, the sound equalizers, sandbags on the nice tripods. I mean, I could go on and on. This, my friends, is a good-looking studio. I'm sure if you wanted to shoot a porn in it, you would have to pay premium. But hey, there's a price for everything. You learn that in economics. All right, there's no money shot here, though. So we continue. I'm the money shot. Here's what happened. So they said defamation, now this. So this is a chargeback. A $350 USD payment for PS Creative personalized solutions is being disputed by Bank of America because your customer says the product was defective, damaged, or not as described. No, Laura, that's your dating profile. Zing, gotcha. You may be, these are just jokes, folks. You may be able to recover these funds. So Laura says, I'm not paying for this product. It was insufficient. Now, she cannot like them all she wants. They were bad, did mean things to me, said I wasn't right on Instagram. But what she's claiming here is that the product was defective, damaged, or not as described. Well, it wasn't. It was perfectly as described. It was crystal clear audio, crystal clear video. So she's claiming it was defective because the audio she shared wasn't the good audio. I never in a million years thought that this would happen. When I heard that she wasn't going to release the podcast, I assumed it was because she didn't look good on camera. And I don't mean physically look good. By the way, I think Laura's looking pretty good these days. It looked like, she was, having a rough time. But, and again, I'm not here to comment on anyone's appearance, but I try to see the best in people. Like Laura, you can recover from this. You just need to admit what you did was wrong and stop the charades and all of that. Because Laura, we're all defective. We're all damaged. And we're all not as described, okay? If I was on a dating profile, I'd tell people I was a video engineer at Google, okay? What do you get? You get poor man's Bradley Cooper hanging out here for free on YouTubes. This is the world of, state-educated business degrees. All right, but anyway, I digress. So we move it on. And by the way, we're crushing it. We're crushing it with this video, for all the claims that we're not a professional YouTube channel. Would a professional YouTube channel not be wearing a Costco jumpsuit? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Come on. This is a Kirkland delight you got here. Okay, we continue. Somebody just laughed and somebody just cried. All right, so $350 chargeback. So Laura's, claiming, and again, $350, not a big deal. But now money is involved. And a lot of people have said, well, we don't think that Laura will get prosecuted for her crimes because money isn't being involved. Extortion, kind of. She tried to extort Clayton, in my opinion, to the tune of, I don't know what it was, $1.4 million, saying, I'm going to sue you for X, Y, and Z unless you drop the case you have against me. So I count that as extortion when you try to use money and or power over somebody to get a desired outcome. I count that as extortion. But hey, what am I? I'm not some lawyer. I'm just a Kirkland brand YouTuber. And I'm going to deliver in bulk, folks. So anyway, this is where it gets interesting. They submitted their claim and they said, we have the receipts, so peace. Now, what receipts are they talking about? Well, when I talked to our good pals over there at PS Studios, they said they have audio proof that they gave Laura her hard drive. So here's what's interesting. the exchange of goods here was, and look at me, I'm starting to talk like this. The exchange of goods here, I need a bow tie. Do they have Kirkland brand bow ties to go with my Puma jumpsuit? So the exchange of goods here is the file. But they didn't necessarily email her the file right away. What they did was she had like a hard drive here, right? And the hard drive, they dumped the footage to her on the spot there. My theory is that she thought they didn't have a paper trail of giving her the audio files because they handed it to her in person. That's my theory. There isn't a metadata trail like there would be if you posted to Dropbox. She downloaded the Dropbox, blah, 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 blah. So they handed her this, but they did it with their audio recording. So they have proof of her receiving the files. What she may be able to argue is, oh, I didn't know they had audio, so that's why I filed the blah, 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 blah. But again, she's a quote unquote professional, if not defective, YouTuber, podcaster. And because of that, she should know what an audio file looks like. It says .mp3. You know, we all know what an audio file looks like. Here's one for you. Here's an audio file. This is an audio file of a single mom in the UK who we're raising money for a Christmas wish list.
Hi Dave and the Rush Hour crew. My name is Jen. I'm here with Aiden and Emmy. Aiden is 17 and Emmy is 15. It's been just Aiden and I since he was 3 months old. He's half American. He was born in the US.
All right, half American. So listen, I'll play this on another video, but I just wanted to share a British accent because we love a British accent, a spot of tea. But that's what a MP3 file looks like. Maybe they sent a different file, AIFF, there's AIV, there's a whole bunch of, bunch of different audio style files. But again, we're not idiots. We know what an audio file looks like, right? We're not idiots. We're not defective, or we all are. But either way, not in this instance. We're pretty spot on. So anyway, she claims she didn't receive that. That's absolutely wild. Now, the $350 comes in. PS Creative Studios goes, Oh, it's magic, I know. Yes, fraudulent chargebacks are crime in Arizona. Oh, the power of Google. And the penalties can be severe. The type of crime and the penalties depend on the amount of money involved and whether the defendant has a prior felony conviction. Now, she doesn't have any priors, which will definitely help her case here. But a misdemeanor would be if the fraud transaction is less than $250. Well, luckily, PS Creative Studios knows their value. And luckily, Laura chose the 2-hour recording. I think if it was 1 hour, maybe that would be under $250. But for 2 hours, I think it was $350, $375, whatever they said. So here it is, a class, 6 felony. If the value of the fraudulent transactions is between $250 and $1,000, the penalty is up to 2 years in state prison. If the defendant has a prior felony conviction, the penalty is up to 5.75 years in prison. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. But when you take this specific avenue to come after her, and this is what people talk about when they say, oh, if you're under investigation or if you're in a lawsuit, just keep your mouth shut. Because anything you say can and will be used against you. And in this case, if Rachel Mitchell wants to come after her and has a bigger reason to, she's already being investigated. Rachel Mitchell's the county prosecutor in Maricopa. If she wants to come after her, it looks pretty clear to me that it was a fraudulent chargeback. I've never charged back on anything. But, sometimes, you don't get the goods or services, you get scammed or whatever, and you want that protection. Absolutely, I understand that. This couldn't be farther from the truth, what PS Creative Studios did. They operated in good faith. So rather than Laura rob them, a female business owner, how about some good comes out of this and we cross our T's and dot our I's? I can just imagine Rachel Mitchell is just like, ready to hand her, whatever they do, whatever notice they give that you're getting indicted. And every single time they're ready to indict her, they have to go back into the office and type in a new level of, debauchery like they have here. All right, so that's where that stands. Let's go to some of the things shared on Justice for Clayton official, because it even gets more interesting. So, of course, the memes are on fire. JFC Reddit be like, doing their thing. I think they even have a meme of me. Chase J. Jones coming in hot to do what he does best. Squash the subpoena. Yeah, we love Chase J. Jones. Where is Chase? Hey, bring Chase J. Jones in. It's been a while. I actually miss Chase J. Jones, and it's not a real person. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, dang, I wonder what he's up to. I wonder what he's doing for Christmas. Quashing subpoenas, squashing, quashing, who knows? So here we have Jingy Tears. This for Clayton Instagram page is going to make a meme of me going, wee, 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 wee. I knew they were going to do that. Anyway. My name's Jingy. They call me Rose. Oh, how funny. Okay, anyhow, so let's go to some interesting stuff. Okay, actually, I don't really need to share much of this, but there's so hold on a second. There's a lot going on with Jingy, Laura's attorney, Laura's bitch, going after a Redditor, and he's, I guess, going after a Redditor to find out their information because they wrote their recap, summary, shared quotes of his copyrighted YouTube video. So I'm going to share some thoughts of what people are saying about this. Lauren, not to be confused with Laura, Lauren Nighty is calling him out. Says Jingo is an abusive a-hole. This is what she said. And an embarrassment to the American justice system. I mean, look, she's allowed to have her opinion, right? That's all we have in life is our opinion. And then Seeking Justice for All Victims of Laura Owens wrote, what a complete loser. This is harassment, frivolous, and vexatious, period. Arizona State Bar, when are you going to take action against this attorney, Jungo, for his grossly unprofessional behavior? And then they tag everyone in it. Here's where it gets fun, right? He says, I think a better comparison would be someone like Travis Kelce on the field versus off. I'm sure when he's on a date with Taylor, Travis is a sweet, gentle guy. But on the football field, he's different because, same with me. Okay, so he's comparing himself to to Travis Kelce, a man who's dating the most famous pop star of all time. Yes, Jingy is the Travis Kelce of Maricopa County. I love that he used to be Conor McGregor, and then Conor McGregor got convicted of something not good, and now he's like, yeah, I'll be Travis Kelce instead. He says, have you actually... Okay, so they go back and forth. Umbrella guy, Tug, comes in. Bring Tug in. He says, going after Redditors. That's pathetic, Jingo. Trying to intimidate randos because they laughed at you a little too hard. And then he says, wee. Hang on. Laura breaks the law, and JFC demands prison, $150,000 in sanctions, and endless harassment for her mom, her sister, anyone she has ever met. JFC breaks the law, and I'm the a-hole for asking them to stop. Checks out perfectly. And then everyone's like, whoa. Did her attorney just admit that she broke the law? I mean, I am sweating in my Kirkland jumpsuit here. Did he again make this situation worse for her? Now, we already knew she broke the law. That's why she's being investigated. But how crazy is this? Tug says, you want to know how YouTube works? Word of mouth. And you had it. You had it from YouTubers, from Reddit, Twitter. People were even falling for the nice guy BS. But you're too dense to grasp one basic lesson. Content doesn't matter when you end up talk to yourself. Good luck with that. Chase Stone said he just wants to be Dave Neal so bad. Oh, he can get a Costco membership. He can do that. I'm an executive member of Costco. So anyway, it's wild that's kind of leads to him, I guess, admitting his client broke the law. Case closed, right? And then he says this. So apparently I can't enjoy a sunny Friday, and instead I have to give free lectures on how DMCA works. No, I've got Christmas lights to hang. Bro, you're hanging Christmas lights? It's December 7th. I mean, that was last weekend's job. No. Hey, good for you. Hang those lights. And also hang your client out to dry while you're at it. And it goes on, and people respond. Who hurt you in your past that makes you so vindictive? And, well, he's the Travis Kelce of, if he's, spiked the ball on this trial. So anyway, let's take a quick break here, or I'll take a quick break and share what Bruce and Lethal Lauren had to say as they unpack this letter from Jungo, where he, Rumble in the Jungo, where he called us psychotic a-holes.
If you were talking about specific details for a DMCA issue, all you need to do is stick to the issues. You don't need to preamble your resume. So linguistically, I find this inappropriate.
Well, this sounds like a lot like the the copyright strikes Laura tried to file against me that YouTube then sent me. She was like rambling about completely irrelevant things to copyright. You know what I mean? Like this this is just some ridiculous shit. It's fluff. That's all it is to me. Hey Flux, what's going on?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. For that reason, I will give you all the information to ensure this notice is valid, but I will also give you a little extra information to make this easier and less boring. Okay. Here's the deal. I am currently representing a woman named Laura Owens in a case involving a guy named Clayton Eckert. Clayton was previously the star of the reality TV show The Bachelor. Laura claimed she became pregnant after hooking up with Clayton in 2023. In response, Clayton claimed Laura faked her pregnancy because
Why does he put faked in parentheses?
Yeah. So anyway, so they do a great job of, Bruce and Laura, they do a great job of bringing, rational talk. Like Bruce is great looking at the linguistic conversation and really digging into what's going on here in these emails. Again, there was as far as I know, no signature, no sign off from a judge or whatever. So apparently this subpoena is not valid at all. The one that's trying to expose the content creator. But just to wrap this up with a bow, the content creator wrote me and they said it was okay if I shared their email here, their concerns. Like, so rather than just receive a subpoena to out their identity, they said, I know every platform operates differently, but to my understanding of social media platforms is that if there's a complaint about your post or material, the platform has every right to ask you to remove it. So what their claim is he never went and tried to get this person to remove their content. He just immediately went to the law, right? So like when it comes to Clayton and Laura, Clayton tried to resolve the shit with Laura way before it went to the court system. He didn't want it to go to the court system. She dragged it to the court system. And then because of that, he got bad publicity and he didn't want it to leave the court system because he wanted to prove his innocence and his lack of paternity. So this person says, I'm a bit confused about why a subpoena for personal information is necessary in this case. I haven't resisted any attempts of removal because no attempts for removal have even occurred. And I don't understand why my personal information would be necessary to request removal of the information. As I said, I'm happy to comply with removing the post upon Reddit's instructions. And while I find it extreme, if Reddit wishes to ban me from the platform, I will begrudgingly understand their position and comply with that as well. I lived without Reddit before this case, and I'll certainly survive without it, although I'll miss the communities. And if I'm not permitted to write these kind of recaps on Reddit, then of course I will cease from doing so. I just don't entirely understand the rapid escalation of the matter. Listen, rapid escalation of the matter is Laura's game. I wasn't even fairly given a warning on the situation. For instance, my understanding with YouTube, from what I've heard, is that YouTube will typically take down the video with a DMCA complaint. There are the occasions where YouTube finds the DMCA complaint frivolous and therefore dismisses it, like the whole Laura red sweater picture copyright claim. Perhaps multiple valid DMCA complaints will lead to temporary suspension, with permanent termination only occurring in particular cases. I know Reddit may be a completely different beast, but I still believe that a fair warning should have been issued before escalation of this matter, especially when there is no monetization on my part. This is such a technicality and probably doesn't belong in this list, but according to the... So anyway, they go on and they go on and they go on, and I don't know who these people are, but yeah, it's like he baited people into doing something that would allow him to punish them in his court. He said, hey, who wants some candy in my van? And then you get into his van and he's like, gotcha, bitch. And it's like, no, how about, he give that Redditor a warning. Hey, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z because I feel like you did this and that. Now, his main beef is that I'll share his main beef, and he may have some sort of point. I don't believe so, but I don't know the law that well. He said, so Clayton's justice said this, rather than watch his video, go to hers, so this idea that people were saying the quiet part out loud, which is rather like, let me put it this way. If Clayton's justice was the one who transcribed the video and then said, rather than give him the views, watch this instead, that may be a misuse or misusing someone's copyrighted material. That may be, because that's somebody trying to take away from them. But if I say, go watch this, not that, I didn't make the copywritten thing. So aren't I allowed to say, hey, go watch this person's versus that person's? I'm not the one violating it. I'm just saying you should do this. So anyway, I think it's confusing to say the least, but I also don't think the person who he's trying to come after was operating under the faith of trying to keep his channel from growing. What the real point is this. Here's the real point. What he doesn't realize is his attempt to punish these people is killing his own channel, because now I'm refusing to say his name. And I recommend anybody on YouTube don't say his name, because if we don't say his name, you know, the guy we're talking about, Laura's bitch, if we don't say his name, then YouTube doesn't type his name out in the closed captions and then rank him as a notable person to discuss. So look, I mean, he had the chance to be a part of this conversation. He's committing terrible PR for his client, and he's shooting himself in the foot. Because right now, so he files a civil lawsuit that costs him $400. So now he's not getting his channel talked about. He has everyone hate him for new reasons, and he's $400 in the hole. Bro, you kind of suck at this thing. All right, those are your updates. Rachel Mitchell, balls in your court. Have a good weekend, everybody. I'll talk to you later.